Welcome to a new video from Shop, and today we're going to talk about flux. Solder flux is essential before and during the soldering process of PCB assembly. The purpose of flux is to prepare metal surfaces for soldering and protect those surfaces during soldering as well. When metal is exposed to air, oxides can form on unprotected surfaces. With electronics, these oxides do not conduct current and can impede the formation of good solder joints during circuit board assembly. To help with the soldering process, flux is used to chemically clean the metal surfaces by removing the oxides as well as any other impurities. The flux also helps promote the wetting of the solder, which refers to how well molten solder is able to bond with a PCB or component. Most of the solder is in the core already mixed with flux, so no additional flux needs to be added, but this flux evaporates when you melt the solder. So for repairments or difficult connections that take a long time to solder, for instance, flux needs to be added in order to solder properly. For instance, for soldering with SMT components, there's often still enough solder left on the pins of the circuit board. So only flux needs to be added to melt the old solder easier and to stimulate the wetting of the solder with the component. Flux comes in many types and forms. Fluxes for soldering electronics can be separated in three different categories: rosin, water-soluble, and no-clean. Rosin fluxes can further be separated in three different categories, depending on the level of activity of acids in the rosin, which is non-activated rosin, mildly activated rosin, and activated rosin. The more active the rosin is, the more corrosive it will work. So if your surface is really oxidized, you should choose a more activated rosin. However, the more activated the rosin is, there will be more residue left on the PCB. Due to the corrosive property of rosin, the PCB needs to be properly cleaned after soldering, because it will otherwise damage your PCB with corrosion over time. Water-soluble flux is more aggressive than rosin flux and is really effective in cleaning metal surfaces that have to be soldered, but they also leave a lot of residue, which requires thorough cleaning and inspection afterwards to guard against flux contamination or board damage if not removed in a timely fashion, due to the very corrosive behavior. Lastly, we have no-clean fluxes. This type of flux has the advantage that the residue doesn't need to be removed after soldering. Usually, any cleaning is more of a matter of cosmetic appeal than actual contamination. However, no-clean flux is overall less active than pure rosin flux, so this flux is mostly meant to be used on clean metal surfaces. So overall, active ingredients damage your electronics over a longer period of time if you leave it on your PCB. So it is advised to clean your PCB with IPA or, if necessary, in an ultrasonic cleaner. No-clean fluxes are a bit less active, but don't need to be cleaned after use. So cleaning the residue is only meant for cosmetic appeal. Flux is either available in a liquid form or in a paste form. Paste can directly be applied on the place you want to solder, and your flux or component will not flow away, which can however happen with liquid flux. Paste also leaves more residue, so it needs more cleaning than liquid flux. Liquid flux also evaporates faster than paste. Flux can be applied with a brush, cotton swab, syringe, or a dispensing pen. We recommend using a dispensing pen or a brush for liquid flux. Lastly, there are also fluxes available which are meant for welding or brazing of metals. These fluxes, like this S39, are not meant for soldering and must not be used for soldering. They are meant for connecting big pieces of metal, like copper pipes, but they will destroy electronics. Overall, we recommend you to use no-clean flux for simple soldering applications, like repairments, because it's easy to use and it doesn't involve any difficult cleaning with deionizing water or chemicals. Using rosin or water-soluble flux also increases the chance of corrosion if the circuit board is not cleaned properly, which can lead to malfunction of the circuit board, and you won't have this problem with no-clean flux. If you want to see a complete comparison between different fluxes, I recommend you to watch this video about SDG Electronics. A thorough analysis was done of various fluxes, and for instance, the thermal paste tube fluxes we sell are highly rated in this test. The link will be in the description. Hopefully you've learned more about the different types of fluxes available, and I hope to see you at the next video.